are going to demonstrate a client-server socket program in Python using DES encryption and decryption. This is the key part of your MCA Semester 3 Information and Network Security Practical under GTU. So let's dive in. So in this video lecture, we are going to discuss DES encryption, how to Python sockets are worked, secure message transmission, and real-time demo. So let's first discuss what is DES. So DES stands for the Data Encryption Standard, and this is a symmetric key encryption algorithm used for the secure communication. And in this algorithm, sender and receiver share the same key. So in this program, we will encrypt a message at the sender side, send it over a socket, and decrypt it at the receiver side using DES. So for doing this exercise, we have to first set up our Python, and we require two different libraries. One is a PyDes for DS encryption, and second is a socket for network communication. So let's first install the required packages. Okay, so first to install this PyDes, I have to write pip install PyDes. Okay, and you have to press enter. Okay, you can see that the PyDes is installed successfully. So let's first look at the server code. The server receives the encrypted message first and then receives the key, and it then decrypts the message using the same key. So let's first write the necessary libraries required, and this base 64 is used for the encoding and decoding process, and for making the socket connection we required host and port. So we take host as localhost and port number 12345, and at the one time we require to send 1024 bytes, so we take a buffer size of 1024 bytes. Now let's first set up the socket. So for setting the socket, we have to first initialize the socket. So for that we require socket.socket and then bind the socket with host and port. And now start ready to socket for listening process. Now print the server is listening on the port number and the host number. And we have to accept the message sent by the sender. So we make a connection and address variable and write server underscore socket dot accept to accept the message sent by the sender. Okay. Now to encrypt the message, we have to first receive the message uh, as per the buffer size and decode that message. Okay, and store in a encrypted underscore message. Now we are printing the encrypted message received at the receiver end, and this is a receiver side program. Okay, now we in the step 2 we have to receive the key that is already sent by the sender. So for that the same process is used. We take a variable key and connection dot receive buffer size dot decode, because when we are receiving we have to decode the key and the encrypted message and print both the encrypted message and the key. Now we have to create the cipher. So for that we take a variable cipher. The method is a DES, the key, and the padding is pad underscore pkcs5. Okay, now we are decrypting the key. So for that we are using the base 64 encoding and base 64 that b64 decode. We have to pass the encrypted message in that, and the decrypted message we for that we required the cipher dot decrypt and pass the encrypted bytes because it takes only the bytes and decode. Now print the decoded message or the decrypted message at the receiver end. Okay, so in this way we can write our DES server program, and at last we have to close the connection. So now let's move to the client side. The client encrypts a user's entered message using a DES key and then sends an encrypted message first followed by the key. Okay. So in this program, in this client side, we are also including the timer. So for that we required one more library, that is a time. Okay. Now we first declare the host and the port, the same host and port that we used in the server side. Okay. Now we have to first take a 8-character key from the sender. Okay. Please make sure that the key size is not more than 8 character, because DS doesn't support that. Okay. Okay, after that we are taking input from the user, means the plain text that the sender want to encrypt and send. And after that we are following the process of encryption using the DES algorithm. So for that we are using a method DES with key, and we are using a pad PKCS5 padding. Okay, now to encrypt the message we are using cipher.encrypt and pass the message, and it generate a ciphertext, but that ciphertext is not in the form of the means byte. So we have to encode the message. For that we are using the base 64 encoding and encode the message. Okay. After that we have to send that message to the server, and for that we are using the socket. So we first initialize the socket, and after that connect the socket with host and port name, and then send the encrypted message to the server. So for that, we are using the client socket.send and pass the encoded message. Please make sure that the message you send using socket must be in the form of the bytes. Okay. Now we are taking using a time and using a sleep method of 1 second. It is used to delay. It is used to avoid message mix-up. Now we are sending the DES key. Okay, for that we are also using the client underscore socket dot send and key dot encode. Now we are printing the encrypted message and also the key that we are going to send to the server. Okay. So in this way we can develop a client side program for DES encryption. Okay, and after that please make sure that you close the socket. Okay. Now let's run the demo. So first we open the two terminals, one for the server and one for the client. Okay. Now you can see that server is listening on the local host with the given port number. Okay. Now I am going to run the client side program in the another terminal. You can see it first want to enter me the 8-character DES key. So for example, I write DES 123 XY. Okay, please make sure that it's only 8-character key. Now the message. So for example, I write hello, how are you? Okay, and now enter. So you can see that it sent the encrypted message to the server as well as the DES key also to the server. Now let's check in the server console that you can see that it received the first the ciphertext, then the DES key, and also it decrypt the message as sent by the sender. So you can see the message was securely transmitted and successfully decrypted on the other side. So basically today we implemented a secure client server program using DES in Python, and this kind of encryption is a great for understanding the basic of the cyber security and the secure communication. But please remember that the DES is old and not used in production, but it is perfect for the learning. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.